Hey guys, it's Lauren here from Her Sport, and today we are at the Child Talks annual event held by the Ombudsman for Children's Office on World Children's Day. This event brings together thousands of students from across Ireland to listen to a host of speakers, including young people, to talk about the issues that matter the most to them.
I've played sport my whole life, but recently it kind of became more of a hassle than something that I enjoyed. I know that for years it's always been a problem about girls dropping out of sport, and you'd always hear it, but I never thought that it would be me. After one particular training, which just left me completely drained and heartbroken nearly, because I just didn't feel up to it anymore and I didn't have the option to play the sport that I loved.
There was lots of adults talking about what children's issues were and not enough children talking about their issues and saying it the way they see it. So we wanted to provide a platform for that. And 7 years ago, we had only 100 people at it, where most of them were family and friends. And it really was a chance for those young people to tell the stories that are important to them.
A lot of the coaches are used to dealing with boys' teams instead of girls, and then they're not really used to changing that attitude when it comes to dealing with different kinds of people. And obviously girls have other struggles as well.
This last 2 to 3 years, I've heard the word menstruation more than I have in my lifetime. And I think that's the way forward. Let's understand it. Let's not just assume that everybody that turns up like a boy turns up the same as they did the day before. In girls' world, that doesn't happen. The simple thing of changing the colour of shorts, that's made a big difference in lots of people's lives. So it's knowing what the problem is. We never identified the problem as male-driven sports clubs. We need to hear from women and what the answers are, what the solutions are. It might mean that some girls drop out for 6 months while they get used to their body changing. But we want to say, how do we connect them? Come and watch the matches. Come and do the water bottles, but stay connected. So I think that's where we've got to go, is be honest and open about what the issues are at that age and try and find solutions.
I'm doing my Leaving Cert this year, and I don't have the time to go to a training that I'm not going to enjoy because I have coaches shouting at me to do this, that and the other, which obviously is great at some times when you're training for something big or you're willing to put yourself under that pressure, but sometimes you're just not willing to face that when you have so many other things going on in the background.
90% of children are joining sports for fun. They don't care about winning or losing. That changes as you get older, and certain people always want to win, but we want to keep more children, particularly girls, engaged in activity. And for me, it's the idea that children are moving, engaging, being physical. I know personally from my work, without doing something physical, I wouldn't be able to de-stress in the way that I can. So yeah, for me, sport is a wonderful thing, particularly for girls. But we have to find a better way in Ireland, particularly to allow girls to go through the adolescence that they go through and still engage them.
It's so much easier to go to it as a good, fun thing when it's a lot more casual and fun. When it's all focused on the winning, it's just an extra stress to add on top instead of a way to get away from the rest of your stress. So it's just realistically what it's supposed to be.
She found a way back herself, and I think we've got to take that lesson and say, well, what would have made it easier to come back sooner, and learn the lessons and pass that out to clubs, rugby, soccer, swimming, whatever it might be, so that we can allow those children to have their hesitations. Everybody at a certain age will hesitate about the sport they're involved in, have their hesitation, but still feel, okay, I can go away and come back. I think that's crucial. So I think that's what we can learn from her.
I play in school, which it just, I don't know, just being able to run and get the ball and just obviously play the sport, it just really gives you this kind of freeing sense that I really definitely did miss when I stopped playing for a bit.
I got 2 seconds on stage, and that's the way it should be, because they want to hear from each other. And why shouldn't they? They're much more articulate about their issues than I could ever be.
I know that if I had heard a talk like this when I was younger and I was in the audience, then it would have made a huge difference to hear that someone else was going through the same thing. And now obviously since then I've been able to talk to my friends and kind of open that up and realise that a lot of people do think the same way, but for a long time I didn't realise that anyone else was thinking the exact same thing as I was. So I think it's very important that other people can hear that too.
I mean, the whole essence of children's rights is to fulfill children's potential. And you do that by recognising their talents, because that's what children's rights is. It's just giving them an opportunity, getting out of their way sometimes, and giving them an opportunity to shine. So for me, it's the most heartening day of the year. I wish all the politicians would come here and see what's happening and listen to what they're saying. they would get real solutions from that.
I wanted to just show other girls that are out there, or any other people really, that it doesn't all have to be about the stress of winning, and you can just do it for you. So that's pretty much it.